Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday, August 7th, 2019. And you are cruising down the highway with Kelly to go to work. Or you're just hanging out with me while I'm driving and needing something to do and talking along the way. It is early. Always early. I am up. I am out. I am blessed. God filled my lungs one more day. Allowed me to have a voice. Allows me to hear, although at this stage of the game sometimes it gets a little hard. That just might be because my head is a little bit hard. I just tend not to want to pay attention. How about you? I mean, seriously, we tune things out that we don't want to be accountable for. We tune things out that we don't want to hear. Or, you know, we tune things out that might invade the space of what we believe and we have going on, and it might disrupt, right? Yeah. We all do it. And as we get older, yeah, we do get hard of hearing, but hey, it is what it is. That's good. That's good. If he brings us through it and he brings us to it, then we got a purpose, regardless of how much we can hear, how much we can see, how much we can say. If you got air in those lungs and you're breathing and your mobility is still intact and you still have a mind that helps you think, then trust me when I say there's purpose for you. Whether it's to be out here praying for those in need, praying for your brothers and sisters, and even praying for yourself. How many people just deal with life and let it happen? Just kind of get static and say that's the way it's supposed to be. You know what? You got to believe in something somewhere. And I can't make you, nobody can make you believe in anything, like anything, love anything, hate anything. The choices belong to us. We were all given freedom of will and freedom of choice, and our choices are our own. So if something is not happening the way you want it to, analyze it, research it, dig in, dig deep, figure out the way, and do a good plan for yourself to change it. Change it. Won't happen overnight, but change it. And if what you choose to do doesn't work, what do they say? If you first don't succeed, try it again. But do not give up. Do not stop believing, and do not give up on hope, and good things are on the other side. Because they are. If you can see it, if you can imagine it, you envision it, you can do it. There is no doubt in my mind. And let me tell you, if you walk with Christ and you believe in all the things that has happened to that man, that was a man on earth, God sent his only son to earth in man form, all the things that he went through, all the things that he did, so that we could be here today. Oh my God, there's nothing impossible. Nothing impossible. So, you know, freedom of will, freedom of choice, we all have it. We don't all have the accountability of our choices and the results that come from it. And that's what we really need to work on as a nation. We need to pray for each other for accountability. We need to pray for each other for moral value. We need to pray for each other for having that moral compass in our hand, to know that we're not always going to do what's right, but we're going to do the best we can for a positive outcome. That we're not out there to take what we can get, that we're not out there to hurt and harm anybody, that we're not out there to hate, but we want harmony. We want to see and experience and live with the beauty that is out there as long as we possibly can. That we want to respect ourselves and we want to respect others, and we don't want anything less from people who surround us. That we don't want to be out there judging everybody and pointing the finger and calling them out for everything that they're doing wrong. But we want to walk beside them knowing that we all screw up and we all do things that maybe we shouldn't, or do things that have a negative effect, a domino effect. For every choice we have, it's like a tsunami. The result comes out. And that result is either a good impact or a negative impact. there's no doubt about it. What is it? For every action, there's a reaction. Think. What direction do you want to go in? Do you just not care? And why is it that you just do not care? I'm not saying that you got to care and get up in everybody's business. No, that's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm saying is, why is it, if you're in that state of mind that you gave up and you just don't want to hear, you just don't want to see, you just don't want to even know anything of anyone, of anything that's going on. And it's not a question for you to reach out and talk to me. If you want to today, that's fine. But we all get to that point where we're weary, we're tired, we get pissed off. And yeah, I know I'm not perfect. Trust me on that. I'm human. But the bottom line is when I talk straight up. And if it offends you, my disclosure, anything I say or do is not here to get anybody upset. If you don't like anything that I say, if you don't believe in anything I say, if you don't want to hear anything I say, please do not listen and feel free to not follow me. That's it. But whatever this came to be on my mind this morning, talking about why is it that we try to shut ourselves down? Why is it that we just don't care? Why is it that we get ourselves stuck in that rut, right? We get stuck in that rut of the doom and gloom, and everything is so bad, everything is so never going to change, and I can't get out of my own way. And if we can envision the change, if we can envision what our worth truly is, what we were made for, if we can envision and believe in ourselves, and if we can walk with that compass, that compass pointing to our value, life changes. Yeah, dark things happen. Bad things happen all the time, unfortunately. And it is heartbreaking that more and more people give up and more people are losing their mind and taking out the innocence of this world. It is heartbreaking. If only we walked around with peace, love, and harmony instead of hate and animosity and judgment, the world would be one big wildflower garden, right? But reality says that's just not how it is. There are so many of us out here in this world, so many souls, and we're all seeking something. Whether it's to keep going forward and getting the best out of everything, whether it's to take whatever we can, or whether it's to avoid and just stop listening and believing. We're all trying to do something. So, why is it so hard? Who is it that's in your corner? Who is it that you have on your support team? Who is it that you turn to? And how's that working out? Now, I have to say, not for nothing, I'm not going to call him out, but I actually have always believed in, I've always known of God. Always known of God. I came from an Irish Catholic family, knew all about it, knew about church. The Catholic churches have some beautiful buildings. Oh my gosh, the architecture. I think being from upstate New York gave me the blessing and appreciation for all of the architectural designs that can be out there. And I know I haven't even seen a sliver of what there could be. But there's just some beautiful things, especially those buildings that are made out of marble and all of that old type of Gothic-y, all of that. And I don't know if Gothic-y is a word or not, but anyway, it is for me today. But I've always known of God. I just, until years later, never had the relationship with Him and really dug in and knew about Jesus. I mean, I knew there was God. There was God that hung on the cross. That's what I knew as a kid, most of us. But again, I didn't get into a relationship. I think it was 1995 that I finally walked forward for the final time, and I think it was 2005 that I finally took that final dip and came back up. And let me tell you, it was the best decision I had ever made. Now, that doesn't mean that, the past is in the past, and they call it the past because what's done, it's gone. You can't change it. It is what it is. We start again right now. So no matter what you did in your youth, no matter what you did yesterday, you can start again. Don't let it beat you up. Believe in yourself. We are all human and we all screw up. We all make mistakes. We all do things that sometimes go really, really right, and they are awesome. We reap the benefits and people love us, and then we do things that are really, really wrong. And you either live with it and let it taunt you, or sometimes the ripple effect from that tsunami doesn't let you forget. Sometimes our mistakes lead to pain and sorrow. And sometimes our mistakes, no matter how hard we're trying to clean them up, just keep putting us back, trapped, feeling trapped. So what do we do? What is it that we do to get past there? I personally surround myself with my brothers and sisters. I personally dive in. I love Jesus and every single thing that he has been written about him, every single thing that he lived for, every single thing that he tried to purpose for while he walked this earth, every single thing that he suffered for, was tormented for, was ripped apart for, everything that he hung on that cross for, everything that he died for. What a love. What a love. Now, I myself may physically never, I say may, never know, but I may never physically meet my life companion that has that much love and care and purpose. But I met Christ, and I went to him because he's always there. God, the maker of all the heavens and earth, I don't care what you believe, this is my belief, the maker of all the heavens and earth, who sent his only son, that came down in man form. God, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit, the living God, lives within you when you build that relationship. Now, I am not, I can sit there and tell you my experiences and the things that have happened to me throughout my lifetime and how many times I should have been dead. I can tell you about the blessings. I can tell you about all the things that I've done wrong. We each have our own experiences, and the best thing that I can tell you is surround yourself with positive, no agenda friends. Find yourself a good Bible-based church. One that when you are learning, when you are listening, you can walk up after and question and have them show you what has been in that book for 2,000 years. Find yourself a good Bible-based church. Find yourself a small group to study, to challenge, to talk through, to be there for each other when you need someone to talk to, as a listening ear, as a support. I'm in Hernando County, Florida. If you're in that area and you're looking for a church or you want to tap in, let me know. I can help you out. I know a handful of people that can really, God-loving souls that can really get you started. But the choice is up to you. So no matter what direction, no matter who I send you to, no matter who you decide to go to, the choice is up to you of what you want to believe, what you want to walk, what you want to say, what you want to do. The choices are yours. And yeah, the choices are our own, and they may be limited a time or two, depending on the circumstances, because we really do need to realize there's a time and place for everything. I mean, seriously, you get this wonderful idea and you're in the middle of your meeting at an office, and all of a sudden that light goes off. You don't jump up and start screaming and doing all kinds of crazy stuff, right? Time and place for everything. But my goal here is talking about none of us are perfect. We all have to live life. And what is it that's holding you back? Why is it that you refuse to believe and surround yourself with positive, inspired people that believe in Jesus Christ. Why is it? What is the problem? What is holding you back from finding that Bible-based church and starting to learn, starting to read? Or why is it that even in your own personal time, in your own personal space, you do not call out to Jesus and start talking to him daily? Now, many of you may be going through things that you don't feel are being answered, that you feel like Jesus has left you alone, that, you know, you've done something that he can't forgive. That's all nonsense. That's all up in your head. That's all those whispers of, you know, negativity, all that stuff that says you can't. Because again, if you can envision it, if you believe it, and you tap in and you learn about the God that I'm learning about, the God that I will always learn about, I will never, never, never have all the answers. I can guarantee you that your life is going to change. And it's not going to be a perfect day. Just because we are God-believing, God-fearing, God-loving people out here, it doesn't mean that life is perfect and everything goes right. It still takes 200% effort. It still brings us through the hardships, the naysayers, the negativity, the every time you get 10 steps forward, somebody kicks you back 20. That still happens. But in all of those storms that beat us up and beat us down, even when we become weary and weak and want to give up, there's a peace that fills us. There's a hope that we want to keep doing the best we can to shine and show some sort of positive impact, to help those that can't help themselves, to be that listening ear, to be that voice passing a message, to be that written word, to be that meal that somebody hasn't had, to be that kind gesture of holding a door, to be that anonymous thank you card, to be something other than always taking away. Paying it forward does not mean you have to dump your bank account. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. But paying it forward just means that we're going to do the best we can somewhere along the lines throughout our days to do something for someone else without expectation. My terminology, my perspective, all of you people that are out there looking it up at Wiki or Webster Dictionary, all that, you know, hey, I get it. I've been to college 4 times. I've got a career, I got all that, but bottom line is, keep it simple. Keep it real. Keep it factual. If you have lived through something, if you have been exposed to anything negative, in that mess, there's a message. For every single day we have, there is a lesson to be learned and a blessing that comes from it. And it may just be something that teaches us how to get through. It may be something that teaches us how to avoid. It may be something that teaches us how to grow. But perspective is everything, and no matter if it's hard or if it's easy, no matter if it's painful or if it's the best thing that ever happened, give thanks, because none of us are promised tomorrow. We all have our time stamp in and we all have our time stamp out, and when that postmaster up above says it's time, let's go, there is not going to be any warning. So what is it that you're spending that time in between those stamps? What is it that you're doing? What is it that you're letting chew up? And what is it that's filling you up with anxiety? What is it that you have going on that isn't working out? Get your spirit right. Get your soul right. Our physical bodies, they're going to fail. They're going to age. They're going to change. There's a lot of beautiful people from back in the day that are absolutely drop dead beautiful. And if you look at them today, it's like, woohoo, what happened? Life happened. You got a lot of beautiful people right now on the outside. And as soon as they open up their mouth, you can't believe that personality, that persona, that stuff that's coming out is so hateful or so mean or so bitter or so hurt. Beauty is from within. And if you don't have peace from within inside, if you don't have peace deep down in your spirit to carry you through, yeah, it's going to come out. And yeah, there's a lot of things that get us to that place to where our spirit is just damaged. There's a lot of things out there that just have happened throughout our days, from being a child right up until yesterday or today or right now. Give it to God. It's not going to change overnight. The pain's not going to go away, and sometimes even 20 years later, something will haunt you, and you'll cry a little bit, but you know you made it through. And that's the point. You made it through, and look around you and see what you have. And if you don't like what you have, change it. If you're in a relationship, are you really in a relationship? Are you really partnered up? Are you really working together? Is that person that you've been with 10 years just on your last nerve? And you can't stand them, so you do everything that you can to get away, and when you are together, all you do is fight and carry on? What is it that you're doing to help that relationship? Are you picking out every fault, every dislike, every pet peeve, and letting it be known? Are you sitting there teasing and tormenting and taunting and pointing out the flaws, but turning them into jokes? Or are you praying for that person that you wanted in your life that now you can't stand? Do you really want to be with that person? Where is it that you want to be? Did you find something better on the other side? Did you think you were going to step out to that other side where the grass was greener? Grass isn't greener on the other side of the fence. That's a facade. People are people. And you may change people to try to get the better version over and over again, but you keep repeating the same pattern that you had. Dig deep down inside of you and find out what it is that you really want. If you really want to be with that person, if you really want good intentions, and even if you don't, if you no longer want to be with that partner that you have, it is up to you to pray for the best and good intentions, no matter if you stay together or not. But you should always, always be lifting up that other person. You should always be lifting up. It doesn't matter if they lift you up or not in prayer. It doesn't matter if they speak highly of you or not. Be the better person. Be the better person. You want a best friend? Meet Jesus right where you are. Start talking to him about all of the things that are on your mind. Start talking to him about all the faults that you find in everybody around you. Start talking to him about what's going on in the life of the relationship that is just not working out the way it used to. Ask him to guide you. Ask him to show you. Ask him to lead you to what you need to hear, what you need to see, what you need to grow. What about our kids? We get so wired. We're constantly going. We are constantly going, and we're out there doing the best we can, and we're trying to make that money so that we can give them everything in this world so they have a better life than we do. We give them a lot of stuff, don't we? Because we can't spend the time we need with them, the quality time that we need with them, what do? We take them on trips. We let them run wild. We let them do whatever they want to do. We stick up for them when they do things wrong. Where are we teaching them anything? People, places, and things of this world are temporary. And then when they really get on our last nerve, when they do something and it embarrasses us or it inconveniences us, what happens? We freak out, we flip out, we say things, we constantly yell. Carry on. Positive motivation, lead by example. Let them know that the world is an imperfect place and we are imperfect people for a perfect God. Teach them about purity. Teach them about the world around us. Teach them that it's okay not to be okay. That it's okay to come to you. Teach them that you don't have to fill your life up and mask it with drugs, relationships, sex. Teach them to keep as much innocence and purity amongst them as possible for as long as they can. Because the world's a violent, open place. We see a lot of stuff. We see too much stuff. And our children are exposed to it. I know. I live behind a elementary school. And I hear little bitty kids, my granddaughter's age, little bitty kids walking down the street with mouths on them that come from inmates that have been in prison. I mean, come on. What are we teaching our kids? What are we paying attention to? Are we reinforcing them to grow? Are we helping them to get to their dream? What is it that they want to do? What is it that they want to do when they get older? What do they want to be? Who do they want to be like? And why should they be like that anybody but themselves? There's no perfect person out there. There's no perfect parent out there. There's no perfect child out there. But you know what? I read a thing yesterday that came across and I reshared it because when I see these good motivational snaps, memes, whatever, I do reshare them. But it's like our kids have bad days too, and we have bad days all the time. But when our kids are having a meltdown, we flip out. We get mad. We ground them. We put them in whatever. But what happens when we have a bad day? And we walk around with a foul mouth and we talk trash and we expose it. When our kids come out and drop the F-bomb and we get furious about it, where did they learn it from? When kids are out there talking about sex and their babies, where are they learning it from? Is it people that they're hanging out with in school that don't have someone watching what their kids are doing or caring what their kids are doing? Or is it from right at home? Now, I'm not picking apart anybody. Everybody's got their own flaws. We all got things that are going on. We all are busy. We all have this. All I'm saying is lead by example. And that little person is a person. Don't try to make them perfect when we can't be. Know that they're going through something just as well as we are going through something. Doesn't mean that we turn our back and let them just have those temper tantrums and give in to them. Far from it. Teach them to work. Teach them to know what life is all about. Teach them a moral compass. Loyalty, respect, value. Nothing is free. So nobody should be entitled to take anything from anyone. We should all have to work for what we want to achieve. And the biggest part about that is even though we're working and we get what we want to achieve, know that it's not the end of the world when things are taken from us. Because people, places, and things are temporary. Anyway, hey, I couldn't tell you how I got all this information to just start chatting away today. But you did ride in to work with me, and I am getting ready to pull up. So I want to say thank you. And I pray that the good Lord watches out over each and every one of you, and that whatever is going on in your life, you are able to come to terms and know that it's temporary and that you are blessed beyond all measure. May the God of all creation bless you today and all your tomorrows. May anything that you are going through that you need healing for, you call out and you have that relationship yourself with Jesus. Fill yourself up with as much positive as you can. And even when things go wrong, it's not the end. We'll all know when the end of the world comes. Sometimes we'll know when our last days are coming. Sort of. When we're laying there. But the bottom line is until you get there, may the peace be with you. May you be filled with love in abundance. And may any trials that you go through give you growth, give you messages and lessons, and bring you closer to Jesus Christ. I hope you have a blessed day or evening. Bye.